again.
Okay. I'll call the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen, April 17th, 2019 meeting to order. If you'd all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start our meeting tonight, Dan, maybe you can introduce us into a moment of silence.
Yes. Thank you. My father-in-law, Bill Montzeris, he passed away last week. And he was quite involved with the town, enjoyed his service on the various commissions throughout his life that he served on. And even till his last day, he was on the Harbor Management Commission. Correct, that was, yeah. And so he really enjoyed his service to the town, and he was a great mentor for me, and I will miss him very much. And if we have a moment of silence, that'd be great. Thank you. Thank you.
Quite a legacy that Bill leaves behind, and quite a family too.
Thanks.
Additional agenda and consent items?
I don't see any.
Delegations. Anyone like
No,
to speak?
no, you're right. I'm sorry. I thought we
There's none, right?
Nope,
Okay,
there's
so
not.
we will go to delegations. Anybody from the public? Anyone from the public? Approval of the minutes.
Move to approve the regular meeting minutes of April 3rd, 2019 is submitted.
I'll second.
Motion seconded. Any comments, corrections? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
One abstention.
And one abstention. 301. Special?
Move to approve the special meeting minutes of April 11th, 2019 as submitted.
Second.
Any comments, corrections? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, there's something else.
Consent calendar. Move to approve the consent calendar for the meeting of April 17th, 2019, in the amount of $8,270.04.
Second.
Second, any comments? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstain? Terrific. We have just a couple items on our agenda this evening. One of them is something that we've been working on for quite a while. Our town clerk is here to kind of fully explain what this is, but it's the codification of ordinances. Basically, the town, through grants, I think, and you'll correct some of this, or fees or grants, or fees that we collect, went ahead and codified our ordinances, which means we updated our ordinances and updated our book. Didn't change any of the language, but reorganized it so all the zoning things are in one section and all the police matter things might be in another section, et cetera, et cetera. It also electronically, it's an electronic file, so that when we pass ordinances in the future, we'll be able to put them in the right location. As you know, we've had an ordinance book and the town charter and then the ordinances, and every time we pass another ordinance, it just goes to the back of the book. It makes it more and more and more difficult as the years go by to find what you're looking for. This will also have an electronic file search feature, so that if you're looking for specifically for blight ordinance, type in blight into the search and bang, you're going to go right to any ordinance that has to do with blight. Karen, why don't you come up and fill in the blanks? I think that's a good start.
That was a very good start. Essentially, they reorganized the ordinances, didn't change any language. They did add in the general provisions at the beginning, which is what you guys are going to be voting on tonight, the resolution to pass that. It's actually paid for out of an account that is set by statute, and every document that gets recorded on the land records, $2 from every document goes into an account for the town clerk to use for historic preservation. So this is a project that I thought would be good for historic preservation of our charter and ordinances. They're going to update the book itself once a year, but like he said, every time a new one's passed, it's going to be on their website. So anybody can call up a couple days after it's passed, and like he said, if it was blight, they can go right to the website and look at it. I think it's going to be ease of use for the citizens and for employees and anybody who wants to look at our charter and ordinances, and I think it was a good project. And this company that we ended up going with, I had gotten 3 quotes. They were a newer company in the state, but all of the towns that were using them at the time I contacted, and great results. All highly recommended them, and so that's about it.
So we have a better product, and it's better for the average citizen and whoever's looking for our ordinances, our charter, all that.
Yep.
It's all going to be in a centralized location and on the web.
And we do still have hard copies too.
And we'll have hard copies when necessary. Great. Any questions for Karen?
Yeah, I had one question. In paragraph 1099, where it talks about a fine not exceeding $100, is that consistent? Are there any codes in the book that have language for greater than $100 fine?
We'll be able to go online and look that up.
The town attorney wrote this up, and you're talking about the resolution for tonight, right?
The general penalty.
The general penalty. I just didn't know if it caused any conflict with any other code that may already be in existence.
Well, the town attorney did work very closely with American Legal Publishing to review the document that was essentially organized by them. Went through it, made a couple changes, added a couple, moved some things around. They are extremely familiar with the charter and ordinances, and they're the ones that wrote up the resolution. So I would assume that there's no conflict.
I'm going to say, in my experience, I think there's a $99 limit or $100 limit to all ordinances. We don't generally charge higher unless by state statute.
Yeah, and it does reference the statute here of the state, so I just wanted to make sure. I haven't read all the ordinances, I don't know what they all say,
Right.
but I just wanted to make sure we weren't creating a conflict.
We're not creating the conflict.
Yeah, the state does publish a book that tells you what the fine is for an ordinance, and it's very specific, and not much you can, yeah.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Any other questions for Mrs. Galvo? Our able town clerk, thank you very much. I knew you'd get through it. Great.
I'll move the following then, that whereas the town of East Lyme Town publishes a book entitled Charter, Ordinances, and Special Laws Ordinance Book on a biannual basis, with the next edition to be published as of 2018, and whereas the town has contracted with American Legal Publishing, ALP, to index and organize the 2018 edition to be entitled The Town of East Lyme Code of Ordinances Code, and whereas the code will contain the charter and all existing ordinances and special laws currently listed in the ordinance book, as well as those adopted or amended through the date the code is published. Whereas ALP included in the draft code a new section entitled General Provisions, which sets forth definitions, rules of interpretation, and other provisions of general application regarding East Lyme ordinances and special laws. And whereas the compilation and publication of the Code of Ordinances is an administrative function of the town, and whereas the general provisions provide that the definitions set forth in particular ordinances shall remain in effect, and that particular provisions and ordinances shall prevail over provisions contained in the general provisions. It is resolved that the East Lyme Board of Selectmen hereby adopts this resolution regarding general provisions of East Lyme Code of Ordinances.
Second.
Ooh. Yeah.
You always tell when they're written by lawyers.
Yes.
Motion, it's been seconded. Any further comment? This has been a long time coming, and I really do applaud Karen Galbo, our town clerk, who's worked very hard with the publisher to get this done, and also with our town attorney to make this work. And it had to be done right, and we're going to get it done right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? Wonderful. Thank you all. Good job, Karen. Next on our agenda is the proposal to revise fees for the town transfer station and commercial haulers. We've had, of course, we pay fees as a town for the bulky waste, for demolition material, for all sorts of different items, appliances, mattresses, etc. We have to pay fees for them to go somewhere else. And our fees have sometimes increased, and we want to make sure that our average taxpayers aren't burdening the cost of the users. So basically, it's a user fee. We're trying to keep up our expenses with the people who actually dump off the mattresses or the appliances. Is that it in a nutshell?
Yeah, our biggest cost up there is the bulky waste demolition. The transfer station is one of the more popular things. People go and the stuff they can't put in a garbage can. Our fees were woefully low up until last year, where we kind of brought them up commensurate to what they really should cost, of what our cost is. So every time someone dumps it at the transfer station, the bulky waste, we have to haul it off in the 40-yard roll-offs. Last year was $70. It used to be less than that. It was $70 a ton. And then it goes up to, just after we raised the fees last year, then Willie Waste bumped them up another 11% to $78 a ton. So after that and the transportation costs, it was basically, for everyone that dumped it, it was just, we were covering costs. So I was trying to increase the fees more commensurate with the operation up there. And last year when we adjusted the fees, it did bring in an additional $35,000 in revenue, and this should bring in another 17 on top of it. One thing to note, a very popular thing up at the transfer station is the double ground mulch. People like to load up on that. I looked at that because Scara is the one that grinds up the debris pile, and they got it was almost a $600,000 piece of equipment that grinds all up. They go amongst all the towns. They don't charge us for it because it's part of the Scara umbrella. And the piece of equipment they got is tremendously better at the heads that grind it, so it comes out very good. The material that's been coming out this year is excellent. It's been flying out the door. We haven't been charging, so I've been looking at, well, we should put a nominal fee because, to make it commensurate, maybe 1/5 of what it would cost to go outside, because I don't think that's going to stop it. So the structure I looked at, the stuff up there which is flying out the door is really meant for the residents. So right now, if you go up there, the way I'm structuring, you go up there and you want to load it into your garbage can, or you want to put it and shovel it into your pickup truck, it'd be free. If you want us to load it with our loader from a pickup truck, trailer on down, $5. And there's two things. One, because I think it's pretty cheap to do that. For getting a full load, you could be getting 2 yards of mulch, and it's really good stuff. The second is that by charging them a fixed fee, they don't have to drive around again and on a Saturday wait 20 cars deep in line. So I'm trying not to snarl up the transfer station. You come in, get in double grind, go up there, $5 fee, take the fee, and then I think it's still going to be pretty popular with that. The thing that's tough is that right now it's open to contractors going in there, and I know of one that went in and 3 triaxles, recently coming in there, 60, 70 yards, rolling out the door. Now, if that's 70 yards, it's not going to the residents, and they're getting it for free, bringing it out to wherever they want it to spread for free. That's a little different here. So then they're going to have to reweigh 75 cents, 100 pounds. And I did the math. It's all in here. That basically works out to, if you went to like a landscape and play a Clausen's, it'd be about $45 a cubic yard. This 75 cents works out to be about $6 a yard. So, I mean, it's almost, an eighth of what it would cost. So if they don't want it to do it, that's more for the residents. If they want to pay it, it's revenue. So I've only put in here that the double grind is $2,000. I actually think it's going to raise more money than that. I just didn't want to say, yeah, we got this windfall. We're going to get an extra $5,000. Let's see how it is. Because one thing is, there's a few other towns that don't have room for it, so they're hauling this double grind away. And if this works out, I might actually have them haul to East Lyme and we'll sell it and make more revenue. So just trying to find ways, the more revenue we can generate, the less taxes we have to burden our residents. So that's what I'm proposing here. It will bring in an additional $17,000 of revenue, and I think it's fair to the users and users that are using it.
So I know there'll be a question on this, or at least one that's on people's minds, is where's that money go? it goes to the general fund. It's not a slush fund. It doesn't go out and we can go buy more equipment with it.
Yeah, the
It
highway is
reduces
not-
our taxes.
Yeah, the highway is nothing, it's not, it goes in the general fund, it could go to police, it could go to schools, it goes to
goes to the
whatever.
general
I'm not
fund,
looking
and
at
then
this
we go to
to
the
build a
budget.
public works
Right.
account, we don't have any special revenue accounts. This is just more money coming to town to lessen the big bill for the taxpayers.
Okay. And we do know that commercial users, some of them, not all of them, were actually charging customers for this mulch, but getting it for free. And it's our workers up there taking the
We're
payloader
loading it
and
for
loading
them.
it up for them as they go out and then make money on it. Not that there's anything wrong with a business making money. Let's get that straight. But any questions?
Seems reasonable.
No, it's cut and dry, and we are the
But
board,
my
of
only
course.
question is, I have in here effective May 1st. We certainly can do that. I do know there's been a big run on it now, because now everyone's saying, oh, it's going to start charging. I'm still comfortable with the May 1st. We might not have any left by May 1st, because everyone's coming up there, oh, big $5 fee, but they're all running up there to get it now, and there's no fee for it right now, so I
Start
guess,
tomorrow morning.
if this board's okay, we could do it effective immediately.
Yeah.
I'd almost
else
rather
have a
do it
problem with
effective. If-
Start tomorrow
I-
morning.
the memo said effective May 1st, but then when I heard people are like a run on it right now, it's really meant for the resident to go
Yeah.
up there and load up their pickup truck. And for
And it-
$5, it's not gonna break them. But if the commercial trucks keep hauling up there with 20-yard loads, there's gonna be nothing left and everyone's gonna be disappointed. So I'd rather have it effective immediately.
Yes, I agree. And again, our residents aren't gonna be affected by it anyway, because if they load it themselves, it's still free, or it's $5 if you take the payloader and dump it into their,
Well, I
in their
don't
big
have my
pickup,
thing,
so.
but if it's effective Monday, because I'd
I was just-
have to get the sign set up, so.
Yeah, I was just-
I think, because we have a
Effective
long
when you can
weekend,
make it
but
effective.
I was going to say, I was going to move that
Whatever
we
that
make
day,
it
I'm looking
effective Monday, April 22nd, because you're closed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday anyway, correct?
no, we're closed Friday.
Oh, that's right,
We're
yeah.
open
Saturday.
Saturday, because it's not a holiday.
That's
Our
right.
Guys, if it's a Tuesday through Friday, and it's a holiday, we're just off that day. So the transfer station is open tomorrow, Thursday. It's open Saturday. I'm okay with that. It'll start effective Monday, whatever that,
Okay.
22nd.
22nd.
That will give me time to change the sign and get some flyers up there.
Okay.
Okay. Then I'll move to approve the transfer station fees as submitted, effective April 22nd, 2019.
Second?
Any other comments? Good work on this, Joe.
Thanks.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Terrific. And notice of annual town meeting, we are at the end of our budget cycle or nearing it. So we have to set up our town meeting and then set up our budget referendum, which is automatic these days.
Okay. Town meeting, annual town meeting. Move that notice is hereby given of the annual town meeting to be held on Monday, May 13th, 2019, at the East Lyme High School Auditorium at 7 p.m. to act on the following. 1, to review and discuss the budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2019, as recommended by the Board of Finance. A, in accordance with Chapter 7.3 of the Town Charter, the moderator shall adjourn the annual budget meeting to a referendum on the voting machines. The budget resolution will be submitted to the persons qualified to vote in a town meeting by referendum by machine vote, which referendum shall take place on May 23rd, 2019, at the East Lyme Community Center from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 2, to adopt a 5-year capital plan. 3, to conduct such other businesses may properly come before the town, before the meeting. Dated at East Lyme, Connecticut, the 17th day of April, 2019.
Second?
Could you give me the date on the town meeting? I didn't get it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ron. Monday, May 13th,
Thank you.
7 p.m.
We have a second. Any further comment? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? Sure, there's something assigned there, right? So we can move right to ex officio reports. Mr. Daigle?
I'll start off with the Public Safety Vision Committee. Our next meeting is tomorrow evening. The RFQ Evaluation Subcommittee has down-selected to a recommendation of 5 of the contractors. They'll be presenting that to the full committee tomorrow evening. We should be able to move forward on that. And the work scope committee, looking forward to see how much progress they've made on the work scope, so they'll be reporting out tomorrow as well. And then for harbor management, the state of Connecticut has approved the harbor management plan with a couple of minor editorial changes that were made based on review with town attorney. That's been completed, and they're looking forward to having it on our agenda sometime next month. They talk to you, along with the ordinance, which will need the ordinance will need a town meeting, right, to pass the ordinance change?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that'll be coming, hopefully before us in May.
Okay.
The only thing I want to add to that is that Bill Montesorius was a charter member of the harbor management team. He formed it when it first started. So
Wow.
33 years on that committee, and the committee is very sorry for his passing. Wanted me to pass it along to Dan and the rest of the family, and they are just amazed by the work and commitment he has made, at least through that committee over the years, in addition to all his other service to the town. That's all I have tonight. You're welcome.
Dan?
Yeah, so we're talking about the Public Safety Commission, the Vision Commission, and today the Scope Committee, subcommittee met, and this is our second tour. Last week we had a tour of the Stonington Police Department. Today we had a tour of the Ledyard Police Department. It's fascinating. I've learned an awful lot just taking tours through these two police stations, and different approaches to the same problems, and how they look at it and how they solve it. It's been very helpful, and I think it's going to help us to do a good job in coming up with the answer for East Lyme. So learning a lot and enjoying it.
Good. Thank you for your service there. Mr. Siri?
Just going on the public safety complex, the architectural firm selection committee, we're now, as they said, we're down to 5 different architects who are still in the process. We were basing it a lot on who had experience in renovating a police department. So we've got some that have a strong background in that and so forth like that, and ones that have done recent ones as well. So we feel we're in good shape for that. We're going to be reviewing that further as well. Moving on to Parks and Rec, passes for McCooks are available right now. You can pick those up at Parks and Rec office. There's a little bit of an increase for the regular pass. We did not make any adjustments for seniors or anything like that, but for just a regular pass, it's going up $5 this year. And it went up a little bit for out-of-town people that live in town, that work in town as well. So that's it.
Great. I just did a list. I have to write that article in the Events magazine, so I did a list of all the things that are going on in town that we're working on. Of course, the elementary school project, that project's expected to be delivered on time, on budget. By Labor Day, it'll be finished, so the kids go back to school, and they'll be fully redistricted by then. We'll have 3 schools, all with about the same number of kids in them, and the construction will be over. The renovation of our new public safety facility will be ongoing throughout the year. Hope to move in at the end of this year, maybe the beginning of next year. Of course, with that will come the acquisition and the brownfield cleanup of our current police station. Once we do that, we'll be able to find the best use going forward for additional multi-use building on the center of Main Street, and of course, a taxpayer as well. The development of the Costco project continues, as well as additional residential units and eventually related retail build-out of that site, and that's ongoing work. I've been working with the state of Connecticut in many meetings, both up in Weathersfield, Newington.
Newington.
That's where I've been. Their headquarters in Newington.
Right in the same area, though.
Yeah,
Not
right.
far
And then
apart.
here as well. There are 4 bridge projects going on in this town in the next bunch of years. The Route 1 near Lover's Lane, the Exit 74 will be the major one, will be a 3-year project. Niantic River Bridge, will be starting next year, most likely, and then the 4 Mile River Road Bridge on Route 156 happens starting in probably 2022, I think. The Miracle League Field continues, fundraising continues, and that construction will begin in the next several months, located behind Flanders School. We are going to replace all the water meters in town with radio-controlled, readable water meters, so that we don't have to send people out to every address twice a year to pick up the readings. That will save money, but also we'll be able to identify leaks that much quicker. If someone's water meter is spiking, we know that they're leaking water, and we can catch that leak immediately. We'll save the water ratepayer money, but it'll also save precious water in our system. And also, we were awarded a grant to study the necessary improvements needed on Flanders Road, south of Industrial Park Road, which means along Gordon Pond. The widening, the straightening of that road is necessary, maybe turning lanes in the future, and bike lanes and pedestrian lanes, including sidewalks. That's been a long goal of this town for quite a while. We also are completing the Cheney Park bathroom project. The foundation's in, the whole plumbing thing is in. We're just waiting for the weather and to bring the trailer down there and turn the water on. So that's going to be something to celebrate. That when you gotta go to Cheney Park. You're gonna get a bumper sticker made up that says that. That's it. What do we do now?
I forgot to mention the Parks and Rec, August. Yeah, April 28th, Sunday is the Boardwalk 5K.
Boardwalk 5K.
So-
I'm sure everybody in town will be there for that.
Yeah, good.
Many events starting to kick up. The event schedule is quite intense. Lastly, my condolences to your family, to the Montezorises, and what a fine example of a man Bill was, and man, oh man, been there from the early days. Public comment, Mr. Schultz.
Evening, Mike Schultz, Lover's Lane, East Lyme. The water meters that we have now, we don't actually, they get an external reading on those anyway, don't they? There's a transmitter on the outside. There is at my house. The meter's in my basement. Nobody comes and takes a reading.
I think it transmits to a readable thing on the outside of your
Something.
building, but we still have to send someone to your house to look at it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. But yeah.
not back at the plant where we can just push a button and read everybody's.
Okay, so that's what that one is
Yeah.
gonna do. Okay. Just a couple comments tonight, and this is battering at some of the things that I've been addressing all year for both the Board of Finance and not too much for the Board of Selectmen, because I haven't had the opportunity to do so. But I want you to know that I'm willing to support all real needs for our community as a taxpayer, as long as they are reasonable and beneficial for everyone in our community. I say that, everyone. I find that through observation of the budget presentations that I witnessed, and a review of meeting minutes, and especially our public and especially our public sector contracts, that there is a huge disparity in compensations awarded to town employees versus the Board of Education employees, and I mean huge. I passed out, the figures. I provided them to members of the Board of Finance. I've given them to our first selectman, Mr. Nickerson, and the superintendent of schools. Whether any of you have had the opportunity to look at that, or it's been shared, or